Know that some babies are born with skulls that fuse too early and that this could be linked to autism. Now, let me break it down. I'm a scientist entrepreneur and a late diagnosed autistic, and I discuss autism research. Today, we're discussing a recent study by Australian researchers published in the Journal of Pediatric Neuropsychology that looked at the connection between autism and a rare condition called non-syndromic craniosynostosis. First, what is craniosynostosis? Normally, babies are born with very flexible skull bones that allow their heads to grow as their brains develop. But in craniosynostosis, one or more of these bones fuse too early, and this can change the shape of the skull and, in some cases, even affect brain development. Now, non-syndromic just means that it happens on its own and it isn't part of a larger genetic disorder. Now, this study was a meta-analysis. This means that the data came from multiple research studies. It were pulled together and analyzed. Now, researchers reviewed 12 studies with 2,000 children with non-syndromic craniosynostosis. All study participants, children. 50% were male, 22 female, and some studies just did not report gender. Now, 4% of children had an official diagnosis of autism, 14% were screened for autism traits, but not formally diagnosed, and 12% had noticeable social difficulties. What did they find? 4% had craniosynostosis and an autistic disorder. That's slightly higher than the general population. 14% showed autism traits on screening tests, and 12% had social difficulties like trouble with communication or understanding social cues. The effects seemed more noticeable as kids got older, especially in primary school, where 28% had social challenges. But why do we see this connection? One idea is that the changes in skull shape could affect brain areas that control social skills and executive functioning. Another possibility is that the kids with medical condition often miss out on social experiences like playing with friends, and that can impact their development. What does this really mean now? Now, research is preliminary and it just shows a link. This does not mean that there's a causal link and the association is quite weak. While the link isn't super clear, there is a takeaway though. Kids with craniosynostosis should be screened for autism early, and any early support makes a huge difference in helping autistic kids thrive. Stay informed.